The Blue Mountains west of Sydney is well known for its trout streams. But that's only really half the story. When my mate Paul Albery invited me to hike in and fish one of the eastern flowing bass streams, I jumped at the opportunity. What I didn't know was that it was going to be such an education in a very different style of bass fishing.
Down here, there's a bit of a pool there, and then it comes down across some rocks and then we head downstream from here.
Cool.
You see how open it is? Like, it's all been smashed out, so it used to have branches and everything all over it. So
Yeah, right.
yeah, it should be a lot easier walking, but hopefully we'll get some fish.
It's a pretty steep track in and involves scrambling down some rock faces that I didn't film. Not quite cliff climbing, but I wouldn't recommend this unless you're fairly fit and steady on your feet. A little bit more footage of the walk in. Nice caves.
Yeah, there's some beautiful caves, mate.
Yeah.
They're punched out with the wind. You usually see the little marsupial rats that build the homes, and they're all stuck with leaves and stuff.
Yeah, I've got a whole bunch of cicadas. I've got a few minnows and other things. So you're going to go surface to start with?
I'll go on the top to start with. I don't know whether I'll get a response. If I don't, I'll particularly when we get around that corner, if it's still in the shade. Yeah. See him behind it? See?
Yeah. Right, had a crack.
Yeah, had a crack. Little fella.
Yep.
Stand on the top of the rock and put one right along the side of it if you can.
Into there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
going to be tough. Beautiful, mate. Leave it sit. You bump it a few times and hope for the best.
So you think there'd be a bass in there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but it might be shallow on that edge. There might not be any undercover. Like, it might just be sand right up to it and we can't see it. The undercut will be out further. Just pause it near the stick. Go another couple of quick ones and then stop it again.
Yep.
Get their attention.
Funny with cicadas. Oh, one's looking.
Yeah, I can see. He's going to hit. Just bump it. Just a tiny little bump.
Oh, it's only a little guy. How's that?
Yeah, that's all right. Bump it a couple of times. But he was quite a good fish. He would have been up close to that 30, 35.
Yeah, right.
He's just underneath it a little.
Oh, yeah.
You see him?
Yeah, I see him now.
Quite a good fish.
Yeah, there's another little one in close here too. Yeah, they're not coming up, eh? All right. I'm going to chuck a minnow on. See if I can get them to take that. So I've gone over to a little rabbit strip minnow pattern. Go subsurface and see if we can get any of these fish to commit. There we go. I reckon these guys are spooked, Paul. They're not committing, eh? I'm used to bass being fairly aggressive predators, but this crystal clear water and bright sunshine was turning them into a much more cagey target.
It's an immediate line and try and get it down to see what happens, but we'll get down around that corner on that shadow side, mate. I think we should do all right.
So just down in that crevice there.
See that crevice there?
Yep.
Fishing there like that, about 4 of them.
Yeah, right.
There's probably 20 fish in there, but
I've got a little minnow on there though. It'll just very slowly sink. Try down in that little crevice down in there. It's really clear. Oh, there's fish. I can see them cruising down in there. They are not eating. No. These guys are shut down. So nice little run here. The riffle will give us a little bit of cover. I was hoping that the riffle might give the fish a little bit more cover too. I have caught bass before in running water that you might normally associate more with a trout. The same principles apply. The foam and ripple on the water provides cover, the water's well oxygenated, and the flow brings a supply of food past the waiting fish. Well, that's the theory anyway. Sometimes the bloody fish have different ideas. So I started prospecting every tiny crevice or bit of cover that I could see. The one thing that wasn't eluding me though was the sheer beauty of this place. The steep walls of the gorge and the stunning rock faces, framing the perfect crystal clear creek, felt about as remote and pristine as anywhere I'd been. Beautiful clear water in here, isn't it? Yeah. It's quite bright today, so I've got a feeling it's going to be about the shade where we can find it, even if it's just tiny little spots like that.
Yeah, just little pockets, mate.
I'm just swinging some out through this little run here. Now, swinging flies in a run is another technique that you'd probably associate more with trout than bass. But this looked like likely water, and at this point, I was more than willing to think outside the box. I figured there's no reason a bass wouldn't sit in the soft water at the bottom of this run and chase a swung streamer. Well, there's definitely fish here.
Oh, 100%. There's always fish here. Early in the season, you can brain them.
Yeah.
You know, get some really good fish and all stacked up in the lower pool.
Yep.
And, as they scatter through the system, it can be real hit and miss some days. You know? Like I said, this place can go off or it can shut down. It's so weird.
Yeah. I'm going to chuck a cicada back on. All right.
Get into them, mate.
And back to the cicada. Let's try that. And right up against the edge of that rock, I reckon.
Yeah. I can imagine they be there. The water's sort of pushing down there.
Yeah.
Underneath. It just depends on the base of it. That's the only
Yeah, that's right.
governing factor.
But it looks like it should hold a fish, doesn't it?
Yeah, it should. If they've read the book, they know to be there.
Yeah. That's the spot. Let's try one on the point of the rock. There's some pools on a bass river you can just look at and say with absolute confidence, I'm gonna get a fish out of here. Well, most rivers, that is. Wow, they're really shut down. This is a stunning place. Absolutely beautiful. Just an incredible gorge. It's beautiful. Had any touches yet, mate?
I've bumped this here, but it could have been underside of it. Felt different.
We're just hitting all the little undercuts. Oh. Fish? It's a good looking crevice under there, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll drift a cicada down over him. We were getting down into a section with a bit more flow now, and it started to feel like the fish down here were at least a little bit more active. We came to a beautiful little pool with a small waterfall at the top, and pretty soon Paul had spotted some fish. A trout in here, is there? Nice.
We're on the board!
What is he, a little brown? Oh, it's a bass?
Yeah, bass, yeah.
Yeah, nice. Oh, yeah, following it. Oh, he's on. Nice, mate. I might have to change back to the minnow.
Ready. Clean fish.
Yeah.
If I hold it, just hold there.
It's huge.
Oh, he's on it.
Oh, yeah.
Straight away. Bang. Quick fish too, like nice.
Yeah.
But you would have to produce that.
Yeah.
Excellent, buddy.
That's what we're looking for.
You're not messing around with a little day. How good's that?
There we go.
That's why I didn't cast here. I thought, no, I'll leave that for Steve. That looks awesome.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, he's not a bad one. He'd be 25.
Well, that 28, 30.
Really?
Getting close to it anyway.
Whoa. He didn't muck around.
Let's go. Go on, man.
Thanks, bud. It's a good looking pool, that one.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't cast. I put a cast here and had a little one. I thought, no, where'd that be?
Yeah.
That was, and as soon as you cast it, just come out and build it, eh?
Yeah.
Put one right next to that run and just let it swing around and then pull it back across it like it's just come off and down through that shit.
Yep.
If it was like it's been pushed down that chute, that's what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. They'll sit on the edge of the foam there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's often the way with cicadas, eh? They just smack it as soon as it touches down.
That little cicada of mine, I've got an issue with it spinning when you cast it. You know,
Yep.
that little cicada pattern.
Yeah.
So if you try and give it a whole heat and put it where you want it, it'll spin.
Yeah.
But if you just nice, easy cast, it won't spin at all, it won't twist your leader up. But it's so effective once you get it in there. I'm just trying to figure out what I can do to the wings there, just shorten them a little bit or...
I did a whole bunch of cicadas with sort of proper film wings and stuff like that, and I had exactly the same issue.
Yeah.
So I ended up going to this system, which is just pearl crystal flash, spread out, and deer hair in the middle.
Yeah.
And it looks great on the water and it doesn't spin.
Yeah.
It felt good to have a fish on the board, and there were some other promising looking pockets next to cover around the pool that looked fishy too. It definitely helps to sharpen your focus when you know that they're catchable. Just have a shot in the back of this. Oh, I can see a fish under it. Good fish down here on this side.
Yeah.
They're not coming up. They were under the cicada, but they're not coming up. But have a shot.
Mad fish, there's some good fish in there.
Yeah. Have a shot at them from here, mate.
Log.
Fish back here, right in front of me.
Yeah, it came out from there. I saw it.
I can see him. He's cruising around. I don't know if he's seen me. Probably has. Yeah, he just spooked. As soon as the fly hit the water, he spooked. Rather unbass-like behaviour. So, he was under the tea tree thing there, tight to the shore. I might need to lengthen my leader a bit. Yeah, mate, I'm going to lengthen that leader right out. I'm just going to try staying a little bit further back off them this time, seeing as they're so easily spooked. Treat them with a little more respect. Now, I'm used to bass fishing in rivers with plenty of overhanging bankside cover. But this creek, along with much of the Hawkesbury Nepean Basin, has been smashed by big floods in the last year. And a lot of that riparian zone is now floating somewhere out in the Pacific Ocean. The bass have clearly adjusted to the changes, and I need to try and catch up. Yeah, I drifted cicadas down in front of that stuff, but no response. So I've put this little micro game changer on that's weighted. See how we go getting down to them. I've lengthened my leader a little bit too. Paul seemed to be having some success fishing weighted streamers into every tiny little crack or crevice that was reachable. Some of these spots were only about the size of a bucket, but the tiniest little patch of shade or depth could potentially hold a fish. As we moved on down the stream, the character of the water kept changing. There were pocket water gorge sections, other sections that looked more like traditional trout water runs, interspersed with the slower, more usual bass-like pools. Any of these zones could hold fish, but getting them to bite was another thing entirely. The deeper pools had some cruising fish out in the bright sunlight, which I found surprising, but for the most part, they seemed to be very wary. Well, very wary of my fly, anyway. Oh, little one after it. He's just not quite eating it. It's almost at my feet. Oh, followed it right out, but he didn't need it. It's close. Oh. Well, it was something. I don't know if it was a fish. It tightened up a little bit. Right under you. Yeah, I can probably get a spay cast or a roll cast over to it. Yeah, there's a little guy down here just nosing it, eh? Little bastards. Little guy just came out and sort of tried to eat it, but he's barely big enough.
Well, there's the big one there. You're almost on him. He's turned, strip, bump. Let it sink, let it sink, let it sink.
Oh, he's on it.
Bump. Can you see?
Yeah.
That is a big fish.
Man, that is a big fish.
Turned away.
Yeah.
You see him?
Yeah, I did.
Good fish, eh?
Yeah. You're right. He's like a 45, 50.
Oh, you don't think he's 50, but he'd certainly be up in the mid to low 40s. 100% he'd be in there.
There he is. Oh, mate, I can see him now. Yeah. Oh, he's a good fish.
So
He's turned away.
Like I'm getting a bloody erection looking at these things.
There's a couple of them. Yeah, they're big.
Yeah, there's some good fish.
You got the intermediate on, have you?
Yeah, I put the intermediate on, and I've got an unweighted bunny again. So it's just going to be, it's not going to be sinking. It'll just whop.
I'm going to put a cicada back on just to see if they'll come up. You never know. Put a yellow cicada on. I'll try something out of left field. Oh!
Get a hit?
Yeah.
Crazy, eh?
It was almost like your tail slapped it though. He didn't really eat it.
Yeah. Have you had him do that before?
Yeah. The camera batteries are just dying like anything. They're not handling the heat. Then all of a sudden, Paul was onto a really good fish. Oh, you got one? Nice. Giving you some curry. Beautiful fish. What is it, do you reckon? High 30s?
22, 44 fork.
44 fork.
Yeah.
Wow. What a fantastic fish, mate.
Beautiful, eh?
Well done. Just pulled this nice little chunk out of there. He was just cruising down over that rock. I saw him cruising. I cast over and he ran straight over and ate it. There he goes. Nice. And then he was on again.
And this fish isn't a slouchy thing either.
No, it's a good one.
He's mad. I'll be up in the 30s, eh?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's a good fish.
He's going hard. That is crazy.
Oh, that's a good fish, mate.
Well, yeah, he'd be 40. 39, 40.
Wow. Fantastic. There's some nice sort of pockety water around your bank over there, but you might have trouble getting to some of it. I might put that game changer back on because that sinks quite fast. Paul's on again.
Probably in the early 30s. Maybe 35.
Nice, mate.
Oh, he has nailed that. Just swallowed so deep.
Beautiful, mate. And then the next thing you know, he was onto another one. Nice. Good one?
Solid fish, eh? He'd be up in the 40s, maybe high 30s. That is insane. I had 3 casts at him and he just kept coming at it.
Yeah. I can't really, I've just got all sandy stuff on this side. Great fish, mate. Beautiful. The access was definitely more difficult on Paul's side of the river, but it also seemed to hold all the fish, and he was able to see them from his perch high up on the rocks. Smart choice. I can't see into the water on the far bank over there, so I just don't really know what's happening.
Right there on it. Keep going, keep going. Stop. There you go. It came up on it.
Yeah.
Come up.
I don't know, mate. Maybe I might try a different fly. They're following this, but they're not hitting it.
Yeah, I reckon you're slowing it down too much. Keep it like.
Yeah, right.
Do it. Just a couple of really quick bumps. Then let it sit, and then go bump, bump, bump again. Like don't just like not just bump and then let it sit. Just
Yeah, right.
keep going.
All right. So shorter pauses, you reckon?
Yeah. Oh no, the pauses can be long. It's just when it starts to move,
Yep.
make it a sudden move, not just a little bump.
Yeah, right. Maybe a change of fly might do the trick. But there was definitely a bit of doubt starting to creep into my mind. What was it that Paul was doing differently? The weariness was starting to set in from the heat, and the effort of scrambling over rocks and through brush seemed to be getting that much harder. It's often said that confidence plays a big part in fishing, and try as I might, I could feel that my confidence was starting to slip.
I had one up there with its back out of the water.
Yeah, right.
And this real shallow run, as soon as I put a cast near it, like I let it by about 2 metres, but it's still spooked it.
Yeah. Like the bass in here are very, very different to the Nepean bass.
Oh, 100%.
I'd gone through a good section of my fly box by now. Time to start at the beginning again. Nice fish, mate.
It's a massive fish, eh?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he'd be 30.
Yeah, he'd be up there.
Beautiful. Nice one, mate.
Pretty cool, eh?
I might go back to the cicada, mate. It's the only thing that's worked for me today, so... Finally, the shadows started to lengthen on the pools a bit, and I found a likely looking bit of water. I can see a fish down there. There he is. Got him. Nah, not big. He's all right. There he goes. Finally, I'd got the monkey off my back, and boy, didn't that feel good. There's a fish. Yeah, there's fish cruising, fish right under me here. There we go. Little guy. Ah. Yep. There's a school of them here, mate. There's a school of them right in front of me. And they're coming up for it now. Now that the shade's on the water. There he is. Just right here in front of me. There's a whole school of them in there, I can see them. They're all swimming around, there's about 20 of them.
I can see it.
It was getting to that magic hour of the afternoon now. That sort of ideal time that we have in our heads, where the shadows are lengthening, but the sun is still sparkling, and the bass are smashing surface flies with wild abandon. I think it's just that time of day, a bit of shadow on the water, they're willing to look up a bit more. The cicadas were in full song now, and with the temperature finally starting to cool down a little bit, it was like a symphony to this bass angler's ears. Little ones. Oh, the little ones. Falls onto another fish over there. He looks like a good one. Oh yeah, he's nice. We were getting pretty close to the exit track now, and it started to feel like the water we were on received a little bit more fishing pressure than where we had come from up the creek. There were some fantastic looking pools and some very likely looking water, but maybe the magic hour had already passed. Mate, what a fantastic place. Honestly,
it's
it's
gorgeous.
just beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
Fishing was a bit tough to start, but come
Yep.
good.
yep,
Some nice fish. So.
you got onto some crackers there in that one big pool, didn't you? I think you had, what, 3 or 4 really, really good fish out of that pool.
Yeah, that 44 was a good one.
Yeah.
44 fork length. It's
Yeah.
solid, and they're solid fish too.
Yeah, I reckon.
And like I said, sometimes this can be rocks and diamonds. You know, you come
Yep.
in here and you really slug it out and you get nothing, or you come down here some days and it just gets brain. But
Yeah, totally.
it's good fun.
Totally. I struggled for most of the day, and then, just at the end of the day, when the shadows hit the water,
Come home with a wet sail.
they started coming up. I managed a few on the cicada.
Yeah.
But it was great. It was quite different to, definitely fishes way differently to the main river.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
This can be shut down here, and you go straight down and jump into the plan, and you'll pull fish hand over fist.
Yep.
And I've seen the same in the Nepean, and I've gone into the mouth of the Gross, like where it flows into the Nepean, and it's just brain it there, and it's no rhyme, no reason to it, and I don't know. Like obviously the barometer's the same, but some places fire and others don't. But we've had a pretty good day today.
Yeah, mate, it's been great. Thanks very much for taking me in. It's been fantastic. Gets the heart pumping, the walk up. That's what we just walked up, guys. Beautiful.